Wizard of Mercia, Son of Merlin by S.M.G. Reddy. Lady Sophia was a child of her kingdom. She loved Mercia with all her heart and wished it well, both to the simple people and those who ruled them. Being very kind, she dreamed of a time when kingdoms would stop their quarrels and the devastating wars that took many lives and ruined families. Having been born into a family of means and position, Lady Sophia was well educated and smart, but being a gentle and kind soul, she was also much loved among the people. Over the years, she had many suitors coming to her father, but he always said she was to choose a husband for herself. She spoke with each and every one of those men, but found none who would be able to make her happy in marriage, until one day a handsome young man came to ask for her hand. "Alas, I cannot give my daughter away, for I have promised to her mother that she was to choose a husband for herself," Lady Sophia's father answered to the young man. "Therefore you are to speak, and she will decide." "I would have it no other way, my lord," the young man answered, with all the courtesy he had. When Lady Sophia entered, the young man bowed and presented himself to her. She smiled at his good manners and offered to go out into the garden for a walk. Even though they were escorted, they walked among the trees and bushes, filled with flowers, while speaking. For the first time, Lady Sophia felt free and happy to hear what the young man said. Other suitors spoke about their money and lands, cattle and profits. They bragged of their estates and treasures, but this one charmed her with tales of the world around. He admired the trees, especially those Lady Sophia planted herself, surprised at her love for gardening and the gentle touch that made her plants bloom with beauty. The man offered to give her a very special gift. "Oh, then you can come again and bring this gift," Lady Sophia smiled, blushing. "But it doesn't mean that I will accept you. No, my fair lady. I only want to give it to you because I know that in your hands it will definitely grow," the man replied. When he came back after a few days, he brought her an amazing plant, one she had never seen before. The man explained that it is a remnant of the old days, when magic sprouted freely into plants. It was a magic healing plant. A few remain, blooming in the distant places, hidden from the people. The man said with a smile. Charmed by such a wonderful gift, Lady Sophia found herself falling in love with the man, who gave not stones and riches, but his soul. Their marriage was settled, and soon they were husband and wife. Lady Sophia was happy and in love. Her husband, fair, kind and handsome, brought her true joy and made her laugh and smile all the time. Very soon after, she noticed that he always carried a strange crystal around his neck. He never took it off, obviously very attached to this trinket. It was curious and amusing at the same time. Lady Sophia tried to ask about it, but her husband answered only that it was a gift from his family, and he carried it around in their memory. Sophia, however, decided to find out more about this crystal. She first went through her vast family library, trying to find any mention of such crystals, but the books did not help her. She decided to take it to the Druids to ask their help in identifying it, but she couldn't ask for the pendant because her husband did not want to part with it, even for a single moment. So one night, she waited for him to fall asleep and carefully took it off his neck. She was about to leave when she noticed that his features started rapidly changing. With horror, Lady Sophia watched how the smooth young skin started withering, turning wrinkled and old. The face of her beloved turned from a handsome young man to a frail old man in mere moments. Shaken to the very core, Sophia bit her lip to stop the scream that was about to escape her mouth and ran out of their bedroom. She frantically burst into the stables and took her horse, heading straight for the Druid temple. But when she returned home with the Druids, her husband was already gone. Not a single servant could tell where he had vanished to. No one heard even the slightest sound. It was as if he had never existed in this house. His clothes, his things were gone, just like a dream that ended. The Grand Master Druid, named Oculus, revealed to Lady Sophia that some time ago such a crystal belonged to a mighty wizard called Wizard of Mercia, or otherwise known as Merlin, who hadn't been seen for 200 years. Sophia's life changed, and not only because of her husband who disappeared, but also because very soon she found herself being with a child. Months passed. She grew sad and preoccupied with thoughts of her husband. She started to regret her decision of taking the crystal she now held very dear and carried it with her in a small satchel. What weighed heavy on her heart the most is that she knew that Merlin's child might have some of his father's powers, so she made sure that the druids would help her raise him. During the winter solstice, Sophia gave birth to a beautiful and healthy baby boy and named him Ushaun Emrys. Regardless of what happened to his father, she loved their child dearly and wished him only the best. He grew strong and smart and very soon became an apprentice of the druids. He learned their old ways and stories of the past until he was no longer a student but became a teacher. The druids studied his work and observed he had powers, gifts he received from his father's bloodline. He could understand the text of the old, having mastered the language faster than any human could. He also became known for his abilities in magic, controlling of the elements, and the prediction of the future. People always came to the druids to find out what awaited them, or for advice, but with Ushaun, even more people came day after day, and the boy gladly helped everyone he could. Seeing her son succeed in his studies and grow more powerful each year, Lady Sophia felt very proud, and understanding the powers he possessed, she also asked that he would see Mercia stand strong. "Don't worry, mother, I will guard this land and help its people as best I can," replied Ushaun. "For there will be a time when a dragon will awaken and bring a curse to our beloved kingdom, and an evil sorceress will try to kill our king." Even though Sophia was very proud of her son, she was afraid that her child could fall to pride or lust for power. And what scared her even more, that very soon he will have to choose his path of destiny. The druids, however, reassured her that he was very kind, smart, and his soul is pure, so he would never fall to darkness. They were so confident in the boy that when he turned 15, the Grand Master Druid Oculus gifted him his magic staff and resigned from his position, naming Ushaun the Imperial Wizard and his successor. He now had control of the council. On the same day, Sophia decided to give Ushaun a gift, so that wherever he goes, he would have something from his father. "Here, my dear son." Lady Sophia took her satchel and untied it. "This belonged to your father. Perhaps it will bring you luck." Ushaun accepted the gift. He had known of his origin for many years. He also knew his father was no longer in this realm. He thought long and hard and decided, in his wisdom, that his father would want the same as his mother. He kissed the magic crystal, and from that moment on protected Mercia from every danger that came, preparing for the days he had predicted. The end.